As an elementary school student, I read my fair share of books. I wasn't the fastest reader in the world, but when you're just reading for fun like I was, I didn't need to be. Some of my favorite books were books like The Magic Treehouse and Goosebumps, along with the Boxcar Children as well. As I grew older, though, I started to read less and less. Maybe it was that I was a fourth grader and I had a busier life on my hands. Or maybe it was my video game console that I had finally been able to get after saving up money for what seemed like years. Whatever the reason was, the fact was that I was reading less. Then fourth grade came along, and the first book my teacher, Mrs. Lucas, chose to read to us was a story by Thomas Rockwell called How to Eat Fried Worms. A title unlike any other, we were highly anticipating the point of the day each afternoon that we got to be read to. This is a story about a boy named Billy and a $50 bet he decides to make with his friends Alan and Joe. The bet was that he had to eat 15 worms in 15 days. When I decided to choose this book and then reread it for the first time in what seemed like years, I quickly remembered why I had such a vivid memory of my fourth grade class. Billy thought about all the different things he could spend $50 on. Without thinking about what he was actually getting himself into, he quickly accepted the bet. I had much of those same tendencies as a kid. I remember making a $5 bet with a friend that I had to eat a handful of grass. Needless to say, I thought it would be a piece of cake and accepted the bet. I ate the grass and won the $5. Well, later that night, my stomach was making me pay that $5 back to it for the bet that I made. I can tell you, I learned my lesson, and I never made a bet like that, such as eating grass, ever again. Much to that same effect, Billy quickly realizes that this was a bet that he made without fully thinking it through. Billy shakes on the bet without thinking about making a specific rule on the size of the worm. Quickly, that backfires on the first worm. Let's just say his first worm that he must eat is not a small one at all. How to Eat Fried Worms is guaranteed to grab your eye, but even more so, it deserves all the attention it gets. With numerous awards under its belt, such as the Mark Twain Award in 1972, the Massachusetts Children's Choice Award, the California Children's Choice Award, as well as the Iowa Children's Choice Award, the list is just getting started with those. This book, even with being over 40 years old as it was made back in 1973, has stood the test of time extremely well and has even had a full-length feature film made. While a full-length feature film may sound like a great idea for a book and for it to get a lot more attention than it already has, in reality, the movie makes the book look like it was dull and not made without very much flow. The movie took away from the heartwarming attached appeal that the book gave me as well as many other students that have read it over the years, and went for a more funny and at times too funny sort of path instead. If you or someone you know has seen the movie but has not read the book, I want you to go to your local library and check it out. You won't regret it. And if you are an adult that hasn't read it or has read it but hasn't read it since your elementary school days, go out into the library and get it as well, because you too will not regret it. How to Eat Fried Worms teaches you just that. Different ways to eat fried worms.